Try that one again. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to TeamODZ Live from the ODivaZ Group Ride. We are in London this morning, and we've got friends Rick and Lisa on the big bus with us. Charisse leading. It's even foggy in London as well. Can't even see the London Eye.
Probably not smoke.
Lou's already on his coffee break.
I think he does that so he can use it by the end, but it doesn't work if they don't give you one at the end.
If you guys are using yours, I think I should catch on. Is this mine?
Getting left back.
I'm going to save mine for going up this climb. Saving, same thing.
Basic.
Yeah, I actually typed saving, but I guess autocorrect decided I needed to erase it.
Yeah, and as usual, my coffee stop is not counting down, so I won't have one at the end.
System down and trying to pay rent. I gotta work it out, but it ain't that easy. Work 9 to 5, can't sleep at night. My money's all spent. I do anything and I go crazy. Whoa, miss the days when I was 18. Whoa, wish that I could turn back time. Whoa, take me back, please someone save me. 'Cause I'm not that good at real life. Oh, take me back in time.
I think I saw it on Facebook presented as the dumbest question ever, so I thought I would contribute with it.
I like the explanation, like as if the hole in the hull was the thing that kept it from imploding.
Well, it is. I mean, if it wasn't for the hole, it wouldn't have sunk in the first place, but
I guess all of the holes in the hull. It had nothing but holes on the top of it.
yes, he nailed it. The hole in the hull allowed the pressure to equalise inside and outside, and therefore did not implode.
Oh, yeah,
But it
but it's
also
not
allowed
like
it
it's
to
a
sink.
pressurized- It's not like it's a pressurized vehicle in the hull.
Well, yeah. And neither was the Titan.
it's-
It wasn't pressurised. It's still atmospheric pressure
Oh,
inside.
yeah. So the whole top part is essentially one big hole. It's just a bowl with a cool covering over it and tons of holes.
I'm not that for real
But I'm sure that the whole hole also helped, as well as all the other holes.
Oof, gone. One person's that. But Charlie's probably listening to the stream. I like that one. I mean, I've seen some pretty bad humour, but
It has been quite a bit.
yeah.
I saw one yesterday. Someone showed me one that was
There we go. See, Charlie's
it was
listening.
there was a graph of the yearly deaths caused by the Titanic, and it was just a line graph. There was just something about it that it was so stupid that it was funny. And then, of
Charlie, I
course,
really,
there was the sport.
really was going to ask what
scoreboard.
what the group thought the subject was going to be today. I'm going to see if we could get some answers to that before you joined, but then you joined.
I love the fact that you're replying on on the group chat, on the ride chat. Everybody is-
I don't
as far
have
as
to,
everybody knows.
I don't have to
Charlie's
type.
They're waiting. Although that still works. I'm listening. I'm waiting for a subject to talk about today. The other one that was funny that I saw was the scoreboard between the Titanic versus rich people. At this point, the Titanic's up 2 points.
Yeah, at least judging by their income, the people in the sub were on the upper deck.
What decides whether or not, if all of a sudden memes can take off and start making fun of a situation where people die anyway? If they're a billionaire, then it's cool. If they're not, then you don't talk about it.
He's really pushing to catch back up.
I am way ahead of Sharice right now.
So hopefully you're not more than 10 seconds ahead.
Nope. Not that far. That would just be rude. Chaos has no rules for me, so that's true. Yeah, I would say, well, when you're supposed to do 50, it's not a good record.
Well, if the mean time between failure is 50, then the next one will do better.
The only problem, though, wasn't the CEO of the company in the submarine.
There's one guy left to skim the profit.
They're giving it a couple weeks before they vote for the next CEO.
Only catch is he has to go down on every tour.
Yeah, at this point, I would imagine. Although that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because it's already gone wrong once.
So my electric earth leak in my bathroom has been fixed at the expense of most of the tiles in the bathroom, but I have light again. Well, it was fortunate that, there was an air pump for whirlpool system. And it could also have been that that was not the issue. Then it would have been really sour, but luckily my diagnosis was correct.
Yeah, so my parents have underfloor heating in the bathroom. And just before I went over last time in 2017, it started tripping the circuit breaker whenever they used it. Wouldn't be straight away. So I took a look at a few things and I really couldn't find out what the problem was, but then I couldn't test it. 240 volts to the ground. So probably a little bit of earth leakage going on.
Yeah, this was a classical case. I'm sure it was one of these safety capacitors, which is an American invention that I never understood, but it was a pretty hefty Earth return, so I'm pretty sure it's a component that failed in that pump.
It's all about capacitors again. Should have said before I ordered yesterday.
Yeah, but these so-called safety capacitors are lethal because, first of all, they're normally designed for 110 volts, and then they don't change them, the values, when they put 220 on them. So if your Earth for some reason is not available, like if you're doing portable stuff or something, you get a hefty shock
Well,
touch in the cabinet. And yeah, very often they will fail, and you will have an Earth leak.
well, think like an American though. You said 110 volt. We use that everywhere, don't we?
Yeah, fine with me, but somebody else decided something else, so that's the problem.
That was for Charlie's last joke.
Oh, it's good there. Oh, that's a fight between Elon and Zuckerberg. I thought it was going to be a cage fight. I mean, they should put them in a cage underwater with sharks with lasers.
Yes.
I wonder who'll get the rights to it. Will it be streamed on Facebook or Twitter?
Only on Twitter. Yeah, that would be interesting. Probably be both.
Apenas son las 10 y yo te estoy buscando. 'Cause love is in the air. Todo lo que yo siento me eriza la piel. Ahora es el momento. I gotta find you somehow. Let's go let it go, live a fast life.
Ah, I'm hungry.
Me too.
Should have eaten during. I'd eat a steak right now. I don't even care if it's 8 o'clock in the morning.
I could eat a Cliff Bar, but I don't have any. That Canadian smoke is expected to blow all across the Atlantic now, so
Oh, wow. We still have yet to have the really bad smoke that everyone else has. Seems like every time it gets bad, it goes around us. Because it just rains here all the time this month.
oh yeah, that's a good thing.
We had two, I think it was they called it partly cloudy days. And then all of a sudden the forecast was just rain, rain, rain. And then now still extended forecast still says rain every day. But then on the 4th of July, Independence Day, it's going to be warmer. It's going to be 80s and thunderstorm. So still rain, but it might actually be kind of nice that day.
On the other hand, they say that the reason we have such a warm summer over here is that they increased the norm of bunker oil so that there are less particles above the North Atlantic. So if the Canadians can fix that, we'll be back to normal.
I'll have a word when I visit next month.
Yes.
I mean, it's also something to do with less sand from the Sahara rolling over the Atlantic, but there's a lot of strange theories.
There's Bernard.
Yo sabía que era para mí, man. Tenía algo especial. Cada vez que la veo, me gusta su meneo. Y me gusta cuando bromeo, cuando me baila y me hace perreo. Porque ella sabe que yo tengo toda su atención. Y no puedo negar lo que siento por ella y lo digo en esta canción.
Yeah, it's been extremely humid here, but so like the other day, the high temperature was 66 Fahrenheit, and that made it actually feel cold. But then yesterday it was low 70s, so it felt warm. It's just right on that edge where if it cools down too much, then it's a sweatshirt day. But just a really weird, wet sweatshirt day that just doesn't feel good.
Yeah, oddly enough, it's similar over here. We have 70 and high humidity, and for a very, very long time, we had like 80, 85 for dry air from the east or northeast.
Well, that's the thing. That's our average temperature right now. It's supposed to be in the low 80s.
This is
But we
actually
have-
our normal summer weather, but we actually liked it better the way it was.
Yeah, it's nice. I can live with low 80s every day. I think most people can.
Yeah, we had it, I think, since mid-May, so it's like 6 weeks. That's pretty good. I can't remember
Oh,
it ever
nice.
being so good here.
Oh, wow. Yeah, right now they're talking on the weather every morning. They just talk about how disappointing this is. I think we're at like 5 or 6 days so far this month that haven't called for rain. Never happens. Usually we get 1 week in June that's not as warm as you'd expect. And then it just turns into summer halfway through June and just stays perfect until the end of August.
So my Garmin tells me I'm now acclimatized to like 80, 82, but
Yeah.
which is good because I'm going down to Spain on Saturday. It's just
Yeah.
in Spain it's 70 and below.
Wow.
Well, north of Spain anyway.
So it might actually be, well, I don't know. July's a long month. I was gonna say it might actually be a cooler Tour de France this year.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into the weather, but at least the beginning will be a cool start. And looks dry in the beginning, but there could also be more precipitation if the western wind continues. So we're landing in Bilbao like 5 minutes after they start on Saturday, and then we're just going into town to see if we can find somewhere. It's probably going to be a bit chaotic, but we'll take what we can get.
How long are you staying?
2 weeks, because on Monday we take off direction west, so we cycle to Santiago de Compostela, so across the whole of northern Spain.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's perfect. Watch the beginning of the tour and then go off on a bike ride.
Yeah, it's actually more or less a coincidence because the tour, he just started it on Monday, and then we saw why not extend it? So we fly out on Saturday instead. We should have actually flown on Friday, but one of the crew couldn't get that day off, so we're going on Saturday.
You saw the beginning stages last year, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw 3 stages in Denmark last year. So it's going to be similar because on Monday we have to cycle from the accommodation to Bilbao, where our trip starts. And as far as I can see, we will cross the third stage as well, but we will have to time it in order to see them.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll be in the area, so that's going to have some ambience. And I think Saturday is going to be nice because Bilbao is going to be on fire. The Basque Country is cycle crazy. The bike I'm cycling on now, I have to give away this evening so that he can drive it down. And then we'll meet up with him on Saturday after we watch the first stage.
I got my one little Tour de France experience, I guess, kind of, on Saturday, where I got to bump shoulders with George Hincapie.
Whoa, that's nice.
Yeah, it was like a little moment where it was his ride that I was on that he did up here, and there was one point where he dropped back for some reason and then caught back up to all of us in the front group, and I had just done a look to see if I could see any wheels to my side, because I knew I was going to be moving soon. All of a sudden I went to move over into a little better draft, and I felt someone just shoulder into me. So I kind of shouldered back and looked over, and it was him. Like, oh, sorry about that. And then he was like, oh no, I should have let you know, I just flew up on your side.
Had something like that. It was just a normal, it was not even a Grand Fondo or something. But I was riding on this guy's wheel up a hill, and then at some point he just started going very fast, and I thought, this is strange. And I've actually been on his wheel for 2 minutes before I saw the name tag on his bike, and it was one of the Dutch pros. It was from Tankin, so not one of the greatest ever, but still it was a nice experience. Also that I didn't see it until the end.
How did you destroy one of George's former bikes, Charlie? This sounds interesting. Yeah, he gives out a bike at every single one of these. It's kind of interesting. I had no idea that was a thing. Apparently there was a raffle somewhere, and I never signed up for it. Ooh. And yeah, he gives away whatever bike he rides. For that ride, he gives it away to whoever wins the raffle.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool ride because it's all based off of tons of sponsorships, obviously. So like the rest area is completely stocked with just all kinds of cool stuff.
That's nice. Over here we have to pay for everything. There are sponsors, but not in that class. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you pay for it initially. The ticket was not cheap. It was $255 for the Grand Fondo route.
Okay.
But then you get a jersey, which is a real nice jersey, and you get coupons towards things, I guess, and stuff, and then the full supported. And like afterwards, there was a local barbecue joint that has a food truck. All the food was free, and there was recovery boots to use for free. And of course, now I want to buy some.
Yeah, that's the problem with the recovery boots. You try them once and then you're hooked.
Yeah, it was, Charlie.
Now, over
yeah,
here,
that's
the
before
rides
you,
tend to be very cheap, but also the service level is very low. The exceptions are in Belgium, so you have Tour of Flanders and some of the official races that have been fundos the day before. They are very well organized and
there you go,
actually
Rick.
not very expensive to enter.
There you go, Rick. You could ride in real life with Shirley.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was up in the front pack, so that's where I'm sure everybody that was invited to come out and ride was. It was pretty fun.
I'm pretty sure he still beat you to the line.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, come on, we can
The
drop.
only
Got my way.
problem was that I didn't the only problem was that I didn't prepare properly for it, in that I was thinking, okay, at the halfway point, I'll stop in the rest area if everybody else does. And so, because my bottles were getting a little empty, and half of the group feigned like as if they were going to go into it, and then the other half went in, and then that other half took off. All of a
That's
sudden,
sneaky.
yeah. And I was like, oh, next year. So then I proceeded to chase for 40 miles, which I did keep up speed. My average was 21 miles an hour for the whole ride. And I was definitely pushing hard. But I still came in 11th overall.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, it wasn't bad. I just wish I would have stayed with that group, because everybody in front of me was in that group.
Yeah.
And then I would have had a chance potentially at the final sprint, maybe. I don't know, though. There was some pretty strong guys.
Yeah, but they don't do Friday apps, so they would have been sitting ducks.
I would have been surprised when I can't just sprint right through them.
Yes. Oh, you have to steer in this game.
Plus, for some reason, they put the finish line on a road that wasn't blocked off. So that was kind of a factor. It's not a super busy road, but if all of a sudden you're coming to the line and there's a car coming, that kind of limits what you can do. Yeah, it was definitely a very racy fondo. I felt like I was racing. That's for sure. And pretty much all I was doing was racing me, because I was alone for such a long time. In the beginning, in the front group, it was great. I was having a good time. It was just enough pushing up the hills, and then just a lot of settling in for the rest of it. Felt great. Really didn't need to stop at that rest area. But next time I'll just conserve my water a little better. Put in a little extra powder and just go the whole way and stay with the group.
Well, your daughter should be standing halfway with some ice bottles.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to need you guys to drive to Castine and just wait. But yeah, it was definitely a fun ride.
Yeah, but it's more fun if you get in a good group. But I had the same experience that maybe they drop you because they're too strong, or suddenly they stop for an hour at the rest stop and you push on because you're in series with another group. And yeah, it's always difficult.
Yeah. After I saw them do that, though, it definitely ignited a race in me. Because after that, I was in full pursuit. Like, I just stopped. I was like, well, while I'm here, I might as well grab a banana and fill up my bottles real quick. And then I grabbed like some of those gummies and stuff that were available there, because I mean, they're free. And just started stuffing them in my pockets. Didn't even end up eating any of them. I still have them now because I couldn't get the package open later on, and it was just like I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna keep using gels.
Yeah, I'll have that sometimes. But do they not test them? I mean, they sell stuff that you should be able to eat on the bike.
It's like, I mean, if I would have opened them ahead of time, maybe. But then also, it was like, it wasn't super hot, but it was warm enough that day. So they're all melting together. And so I could only imagine what kind
That's
of.
the great thing about Cliff bars, that they don't melt. I mean, other bars, they will completely go liquid. That's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, I ended up this was the first time I ever tried just going with all gels. And it was good. I felt good on the bike, but it was just after the bike ride, I felt like I didn't want to eat anything until dinner time. So I didn't enjoy any of the barbecue.
Yeah, I'm with Charlie on intermittent fasting. If you can get that going, it's not really, you don't really feel it as a problem. You just get into the habit of not eating in the morning or wherever you do it.
Yeah.
And it really makes the pounds. I mean, I'm not into it at the moment. The moment that I'm in the reverse problem that I eat during the night and at times I shouldn't. But once you get that going, it really works fine. Intermittent fasting.
I also found that eating just gels and trying to chase down a lead group for 40 miles, riding at your FTP is a really good way to also shed the pounds.
Yeah, but you have to, I mean, gels are for the end. I mean, if you want to fuel on gels the whole ride, you have to really take a lot of them.
Oh yeah, I did. Well, that wasn't a bunch. It was like 7 of them, I think.
But it's like you have to take one every 10 minutes or something, and so
Oh yeah.
But
At the
it's
end, I
all
was doing every 15.
yeah. I mean, it's individual, but normally it works better that you eat some solids during the ride, and then the last hour you start looking at gels.
Oh, next time I'll definitely be bringing some solids. Because I wasn't really sure how it would go. I didn't know if it'd get racy at the front or if it was just going to be like, we're just going to go at a good pace. And so I thought it would all be fun. But then once they did that at the halfway point, all of a sudden they ignited all raciness inside of me. And then I was like, here we go. I tried to get with another group, but they were going too slow up the hill. So now the other thing they did, they put every single rest area right before a KOM.
Yeah, I hate that.
That's horrible. That first hill afterwards, I was like, why? There's no reason why I should have stopped at all. I didn't have to pee. I could have survived with what I had in one bottle. I mean, I was only riding for 3 hours and 50 minutes. So it wasn't like super long.
The Tour de Benelux I did recently, that was really amateur-like. They had the stop in the middle of the segment, and I had done so well on the beginning of the climb. It's a very steep climb and coming out of Stavelot from Liège-Bastogne-Liège. And I only needed like 700 meters to kill the segment, but that didn't happen that day.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good, that whole last half of that ride was a good chance to really exercise my mental toughness. Just being alone. I mean, I did start passing a lot of the 50 milers, and then I passed a few people that had dropped out of the lead group on the last KOM. And at that point, I was going so hard that I was just flying by people.
Yeah, but then must have gone really hard because the lead group, so much easier to go in the lead group than going alone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I was definitely working way overtime. By the end of it, my Garmin said that I had done a VO2 max workout. It was just too much.
It's not my favorite. I like the group dynamics and Yeah.
Oh, it was
I mean,
fun.
this is what makes cycling interesting for me, that it's an individual sport, but there's definitely also a group element in it.
Yeah.
But indeed, I also often end up alone. I hate it.
Yeah, next year I figure if I just stick with it, don't stop anywhere, bring some solids, bring some gels, bring an extra bottle in my jersey. 3 bottles should get me through.
Yeah, and these are the things you can learn gradually. So we have over here the biggest Grand Fondo in the Netherlands is the Amstel Gold. And that is really annoying because they force you to go through the rest area. And it's normally so crowded that it really takes you 10 minutes just to go through without picking anything. That's so annoying.
Yeah. Cool thing about this one, they call these rides just a fun, non-competitive ride, but yet they also give out like really nice gifts for people who came in first in each one of like the age groups or did the KOMs. Like they gave away a few sets of those recovery boots and some Wahoo trainers, stuff like that.
That's nice.
And then I got this for third place in my age group.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I got something. It was cool.
Over here it's less competitive. I mean, there's some official Grand Fondos in France. They have the first group that takes off is very competitive. It's normally ex-profs and even people who have been on the doping suspension, they join. But for the rest, it's just, it's like gravel. Gravel is also competitive in the States, but over here, it's just like a Sunday cruise for most people.
Yeah. That's always nice to do. I did like the racy aspect of it just because I was in the mood to do it. It was good. Like I don't know what I was feeling off of, but for that last 40 miles, it was definitely like, I don't know. I was happy with it. I was having a good time, even though I was pushing so hard.
Yeah,
I was
but
loving my speed.
Then you have a good mentality for that. That's not my game going alone. I can do it, but I don't enjoy it. What I really like is going fast in a group where you have to use your skills as a group to get through, to take the turns. And I mean, it goes into a higher harmony when you're with guys, but you can adjust to each other and really, really make it fast. That's so fun, I think.
That was fun. One thing I noticed, like in the beginning of the group, because I didn't start in the front, I showed up late. And so every single course length, there's 3 different ones. Everybody started at the same time. And I was like in the back of the media. And
Shelby,
trying to make my way up.
Follow him, my friend.
I ended up trying to make my way up to the front group, but trying to not do it so that I looked like a nuisance. I was trying to just gradually, like, I'd ride behind someone for a while and then eventually go and cut by them and then make my way up gradually. And then finally, once I got to the front group, they had broken off. So then I bridged and then caught up with them. But when I first got there, nobody would let me in for the good draft.
Yeah.
And I'd look and then they would just still stay there. So then I'd point and they'd still stay there. So then I'd just start moving my way in. And then finally they'd move. And then eventually, by the time we were like maybe 15 miles in or so, everybody just let me in. It was pretty cool. By that point, I think we all knew that we had our group. And this is what we were going to work with.
Yeah, that's the culture of cycling. You first have to like prove yourself, or I don't know. I don't really like it so much. I also had it at the local cycling group here that would cut you off the first couple of times until you show them that you're not going to take it. Then they stop doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing. For the first little bit, I was being a little timid with it, where I was just like, okay, I guess you're not going to let me in. I'll just get lower. Okay. It's fine. I can get arrow.
Hey, you're
But
the guy
then-
that showed the George Hincapie, so they should take care, I think.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Eventually, Charlie, I ended up being
Hey,
like,
Rick.
okay, I'm sick of it.
Rick,
What?
you need to educate Ufa how to pronounce his name.
Oh dear. Okay, Hincapie, I'll try.
I still like calling him Hincapie though. I feel like it flows better.
It took me ages to learn to say Spokane, so maybe I'll learn Hincapie one day as well.
Start with your fist. I'm coming over. You can either let me in or you're getting it. Yeah, by the end of it, it did. I had a couple moments where I just took my spot. And then after that, it stopped. I didn't notice anybody really trying to force me out anymore.
All right, I've got to ask this one.
Huh? I don't know. Matt, I have 5 miles left.
Stop.
But yeah, as far as rides go, I think now
it's just a fight
that
starting
ride
off in the England household again.
yes, the cat has begun.
I heard the word stop then.
The as far as rides go, this ride may ruin all other rides for me because it's so well put together that
Yes.
it's just, I don't know. All other ones I may go there and be like, ugh, what is this rinky dink operation? And the fact that like it's not every ride that you get to go up to the front group and ride in a group like that where it was that exciting. It was fun. Like the first 40 miles flew right by, and I was really hoping to keep it up for the last 40 miles. Did not imagine I would be time trialing myself to the finish.
Well, the rides at camp was some of the best group rides I've done. It's just, yeah, you're together with people at around your own level, and it's going fast, and yeah, really good.
Yeah, I had to keep like thinking to suppress a smile. Like, can't just be smiling the whole time. Doesn't work out well.
Yeah, George will think you're on something.
But you also get surprised sometimes. This Sunday I did a gravel ride in the east part of the country, and we paid $7 to enter. But it was super well organized, and it was a small crew that did it. But it was just, everything was perfect, and yeah. They had arrows, which we don't have normally. Normally we just get the DPX file. But here it was with arrows. With some gravel, it's actually good because it's difficult to look at your Garmin and maneuver in gravel tracks, and yeah, so the arrows were really nice.
If he'd asked why the smile, Rick, you could have always said, "Oh, it's the melatonin and the sleepy time tea."
I start my day off with sleepy time tea. Keeps me with a smile on my face all day long.
I guess people who work in breweries smile a lot, generally speaking.
It is a pretty stress-free job. When it does get stressful, it's only stressful for a few moments and then it's all better.
I'm getting thirsty here because I put empty bottles in the bike because I have to take it off this evening, so I didn't want to forget my bottles, but then I forgot to put a full one in for this ride.
Well, that saddle sore is back.
Right, it's a surprise.
One of these days I'm going to force it away.
It's also with humid weather. If your pants are wet, you get saddle sores a lot easier.
Oh yeah, the day after that ride first I did 100K with Andy in the morning. And then I was called about doing a ride later in the day. Just did a quick 20-mile ride. And that's right when the thunderstorms came rolling through. Got absolutely soaked. So that didn't help anymore.
That happened to my dad yesterday. He's the guy that looks at the sky instead of looking at weather forecasts. So he got tricked out on the bicycle.
Yeah, this was one of those ones where we started, it didn't rain at all. But yet, once we hit about midway through the ride, it just poured all the way until like the last 2 miles. And then it was dry again. So then when we walked through the door, our wives are looking at us like, wow, did you guys sweat a lot? No, actually it's pouring over there. We almost drowned.
That's me done. So, thanks for joining us on the stream this morning. Much appreciated, everyone out there. I'll be back with the WTRL team time trial lunchtime tomorrow, so in about 5 hours time, but tomorrow. Until then, take care everybody. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.